Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hot Corner Podcast. I am your host today, Alex. Brendan is away doing some family stuff or whatever he does during the weekend. But do not fear, for I am not alone. I have a special guest. Ow, Manfred just clawed my lip. I got two special guests. I'm sorry. Two special guests. First, Manfred. He literally put his claw on my lip. That actually kind of low-key hurt. But anyway,
Damn.
my second guest is the man who self-proclaimed Walker Kessler as Rookie of the Year, Mr. Tyler Borscht. What's up?
The man who doesn't lie about anything, especially about Harden being good.
Yeah, no, this kid, he would take Harden over Luka, no cap, every day of the week. And that's honestly why he's here, because we need somebody to make me sound better. So today's episode, we're going to keep it a little bit briefer. I think we're going to talk some Timberwolves basketball. They just had a really good game against Memphis. Have really been good again after the first. And then after that, I think we're going to go over some trade rumors, what we kind of expect to happen, what we want to happen, and some potential buyers and sellers at the trade deadline. But first let's cover the Wolves. Tyler, take her away.
All right. So watching that game, like with work and everything, having it being hard, watching basketball, my Lord. All right. I got to give a special shout out to one of my old coworkers who's from, outside of Memphis, but big Memphis supporter. I remember I like Joe. He's a pretty all right guy,
Joe's okay.
He's okay. He's
like top 10 point guard.
Yeah, like give or take. But yeah. I love the energy. I love the rivalry that Memphis and Minnesota have. Like, it's always so much fun watching them. And I feel like they're a really good opponent for us to play because it kind of kicks us back into gear and kind of allows us to it's kind of like a reality check. Because, I mean, like, the beginning of it was not what I expected at all. But watching those two plays, honestly, like, to me, I'm just going to say this, and I'm not saying this just because I'm a Wolves fan, but it's kind of like watching Cleveland and the Warriors. Like, I get that kind of energy, especially from Ant and Morant playing against each other. It's like two young guys with a whole lot of talent who, I mean, you saw Ant's dunk against Jaren Jackson.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that's what I'm saying. It kind of brings like a reality check to the Wolves. Like, they got that dog in them.
You want to be a big guy? Well, you got to take down Memphis to be that big guy.
Yeah, even, I mean, Ant was actually shooting a little better from behind the line. Like, he wasn't just hucking up threes like no other. I mean, D'Lo was, but that's to be expected. But, I mean, even Kyle motherfrickin' Anderson, that man, he got the second most points on the team that night, 2 behind Ant. So I'm like, it's kind of nice seeing those players. And I know I said it before, maybe we should have players that are on the bench come out and play, and now they're kind of showing up. So I think it's pretty good. But
yeah, last night he's continuing because I stopped petting him, so he's got to claw me. Last night's game was kind of what I expect from the Wolves. We first quarter, like the first 5 minutes or so, was a little bit of back and forth, and Grizzlies number 2 seed in the West. Obviously, like, they're a really good team. They honestly, had they not played Golden State, potentially could have went to the Western Conference Finals last year. But it's good to see that, okay, we don't have Jordan McLaughlin, we don't have Taurean Prince, we don't have Cap, and we came out and really this really wasn't a competitive game post the first quarter. So it was 31-38 in the first quarter, 22-24 second quarter. 24-25, 23-24 were the quarter. So really, once we built a 10-point lead, we didn't let them get within 8. I think there was one stretch. So at the end of the third quarter, I don't understand that coach's challenge for the offensive basket interference. Sure, it saved 2 points, but in typical Wolves fashion, saving 2 points actually led us to an 0-7 run, or the Grizzlies were on a 7-0 run. And all of a sudden, I'm just like, no, we can't. We like not again. Please God, not again. But we salvaged it so far since the first. Like our team's been solid. I just saw somewhere on Reddit that I think the lineup of D'Lo, Ant, Jaden, Kyle Anderson, and Gobert has got the third best defense. And I actually think the fourth best defense is that same 5, but with Austin Rivers, I think. I don't know, but our defense has been stellar with Gobert. Obviously, the offense is a little bit of a question, but it's good to see us. We're only one game above 500, but we're getting wins when we're supposed to get wins. Playing well, we're finishing games, so it's at least an encouraging sign so far.
Yeah, it was kind of weird to see. I mean, obviously, okay, so like I feel like I kind of have to harp on the refs every time that we have a podcast.
They weren't great,
but it was kind of off because like in like Memphis started off with a whole lot of turnovers, and then there were what it seemed like in the beginning. It seemed like there were a lot of calls that were missed on Memphis that should have been fouls, like for Memphis, I should say. So missed on Minnesota, but then as I was watching, like it kind of seemed to even out a little bit, but still it seemed like rather inconsistent. But it was still like it's just the energy I think that like they have, because like even Dillon Brooks, that man is a menace. Like he is literally like I feel like he's more of a condensed P Bev in a sense, because like even like the announcers were saying that he is just always there. He's always in the energy. Mix of everything. Yeah. So it's like, because I mean, Morant he has energy too, but nothing like Dillon Brooks has. Like everybody else on the team is quiet. I feel like Jaren Jackson is kind of just like Kawhi. He's just kind of like whatever. But then, it's just it was weird. I love hearing like the little the takes that you can hear the players like yell out.
Yes.
Like on like the floor and everything. I love hearing that because it's a lot of Dillon Brooks.
Yeah, so. Dillon Brooks is one of those guys like Patrick Beverley where I hate Pat Bev. Pat Bev came to the Timberwolves. I loved Pat Bev. Pat Bev, not on the Timberwolves, hate the guy. He's one of those irritants that like a lot of really good teams have had in the past, a lot of successful teams. I mean, okay, look at Golden State and Draymond Green. Like Draymond Green does everything, but probably one of the best things he does is he'll piss your team off. He gets in your face. It doesn't matter if it's Gobert. It doesn't matter if it's Anthony Edwards. It doesn't matter if it's LeBron James. Like Draymond Green's going at you. And it's just all those little things. And those are the intangibles that, in my opinion, is what separate teams that go to the Western Conference Finals or Eastern Conference Finals and to the finals. So it separates those teams from the teams that win championships. I mean, Draymond Green really struggled in the finals for the first few games. He's obviously, you got Steph, you got Wiggins, you got Clay, you got Jordan Poole, but that X factor in the last couple of games was Draymond Green to a certain extent, and teams that don't have that guy, sometimes when a team goes on a 10-0, 12-0, 14-0 run, you got to have Patrick Beverley, Draymond Green be like, yo, get your shit together. Go back to the basics. So, Dillon Brooks is definitely one of those guys. He packs more of an offensive punch than P. Bev does. But he's one of those guys that, like, vital to your team's success.
Yeah, most definitely. It's super fun to watch, though.
So I'm going to
Like,
look at the Western Conference finals or the Western Conference standings really quick because the West is just the West is
it's
insane right now.
almost, yeah.
Um, so let's see. So from 4 to 13. So Pelicans are at 26 and 23. The Lakers are 23 and 26. 3
Mm.
games separate 4 to 13. 3 games. That is just like, man, that's not. I every single night, even the Wolves don't play. I'm like, shit, dude, I gotta look at the standing. Like
Yep.
we win a game, we move up 1 position. We don't play, we move down 3 positions. We win a game, we move up 4 positions. Again, I've been saying this for the entirety of this podcast. What a great time to be a basketball fan. Like
Honestly.
I mean, the Eastern Conference is a little bit more spread out. So their 4 to 13 is 10 games, for example. So you've got the Nets at 29 and 19, the Magic at 19 and 30. Like the East isn't nearly as condensed um as the West is, but man, the West, it's literally going to come down to the last game. If you're a number 7 seed playing a number 10 seed, like you ain't safe.
Mm-mm.
Like the Lakers could be the 10 seed, and I'm not a big fan of the Lakers, but LeBron in the playoffs, like dude's a beast. Anthony Davis, if he's healthy, he's a beast. The Suns, the Suns could very well be the 7 to 10 seed. Suns are still kind of good. It's just you you don't know what to expect at this point, and that's what makes it
Mm-hmm.
so much fun.
Yeah, it's weird. I was talking to my coworker the other day about it. He's like, "Oh yeah, well, like the standings and everything like that. Who do you think is going to make the finals?" I'm like, the top teams in each division. I don't know. Boston. Like, even though I think they're at like 31 now. I think if they won their last game, well, they're at
A
30
few
the other
more,
night.
35.
35.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm like, you have like it's not even the All Star break yet, and like it's that close. Like
Yeah.
I don't remember ever watching basketball and like thinking I have to sit here and think of like who's going to the playoffs. Like I literally
Right.
told them I'm like the Kings could even do it. They're third. So I'm like it's honestly it's not like the clear cut, oh, it's going to be the Cavs and Warriors again. Like it's
Right.
not that. It's not like you can predict it,
Yeah.
but
Nobody is safe. And again, like I'm looking at the Eastern Conference standings right now. Celtics are number 1. The Sixers on a 7-game winning streak are now 2 games back from them. The Bucks that have kind of cooled off after their hot start are 2.5 back. The Nets, who were at one point pretty red hot. I'm looking at their last 10 right now. They're 4 and 6. They're on a 2-game losing streak, including I think they just lost to Detroit as well, which isn't a good loss. They're without KD. Um, Slap plays a role, but we've got Celtics, 76ers, 2 games back, Bucks, 2.5 games back, Nets, 5 games back, Cavs, 5.5 back, Heat at the 7 seed, 7 games back. Knicks, who've been playing pretty good basketball lately, they're 8 games back. Hawks are above 500. I honestly didn't even know that because I don't think there's like 6 people that watch Hawks games. They're 9.5 back. So the East towards the bottom has definitely got a little bit of compression, but yeah, the Cavs, if the Cavs get matched up well in the playoffs, those guys could be finals bound. I mean,
mm-hmm.
again, it on both sides, like who is your bet to pick? Like there's no bad pick right now.
No. And it's kind of like how we were like the first episode that we all did together. But I was saying like, oh yeah, the Jazz are taking off, and now they're sitting at 10th,
Yep.
but they're only behind from the 4th spot a game.
Yeah. Exactly. Any one of these teams can catch fire and get ahead. So like watching games right now, getting your wins when you have to get the wins. I'm talking to you, Chris Finch and the Timberwolves. When you lose to Houston on a back-to-back or a 2 out of 3, you lose to Houston. Yeah, it's exciting. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, honestly, even like the Cavs game that I was watching, I caught the last quarter and watching Garland get upset. I'm like, he has every reason to be upset because like literally like every game matters at this point. Like I don't know if something's going to happen after the All-Star break where it's just going to be like, well, now it's set in stone and it's going to flip again, and maybe a different team will take off and then we'll be like, all right, well they're going to the finals or something now. But I hope it stays like this, honestly, because it makes every game so exciting to watch.
Yep. Yeah, I could not agree more. Sorry, my TV just shut off randomly. Do you have anything else to add on the Timberwolves or a playoff picture where we're standing?
Honestly, just I've been seeing a lot, everything on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter about the D'Lo situation. That's about
Yeah,
it.
and that's a really good segue. So let's kind of get into what we think might happen at the trade deadline, what we might want to happen.
Oh, I'm the biggest bird. I'm the biggest bird. I'm the biggest bird. I'm the biggest bird. Oh man. I wish I was over 6 foot.
Speaking of D'Lo, yeah, what do you think is going to
Well,
happen with our boy?
so maybe you know what this means. Not memes, Jesus. What this means. It says that the Wolves have kicked the tire on John Wall. Kick the tires off. Kick the tires on John Wall
So to the
is
best
what
of my
I'm reading.
knowledge, kicking the tire, um, is basically like nothing's happening.
Oh, okay.
Like your wheels are just spinning. I don't know for sure if that's what that means, but I believe that would mean the Timberwolves probably aren't super interested on it, and um, I don't blame them. I've got nothing against John Wall. Um, what's he going to bring to the table? He's
A vet? I don't know. I feel like we have a young team, minus Rudy.
we do, yeah. We got a young team. To me, in my opinion, I feel like John Wall would be too much of a liability. If we could get him for like a veteran minimum or like a league minimum, like a 1 year deal or a 1 year plus like one team option, like I would be more for it. I've never been a John Wall fan. That's not to say he's not a good player. Yeah, his dance is stupid. Um, he's just it's kind of like the same thing with like Chris Paul. Chris Paul is not a point god. He hasn't won the finals yet. He can't be a point god if you don't win the finals. Like John Wall gets a bunch of hype for a good reason, but I don't agree with that reason. But anyway, that's a whole other
Basically,
thing.
after he left Washington, he was done.
Yeah, I mean he's got a big injury history, which doesn't help, and that's a shame because in college in his first few years with Washington, he was really good. He was super explosive. He could do everything. He was a scoring machine. But I just feel like he's getting older, injury history. Everybody that comes to the Wolves all of a sudden, comes up with injuries. I'm looking at you, Kevin Love, and your knuckle
Rudy.
push-ups. Yeah, yep. So yeah, John Wall would be interesting in my opinion. I wouldn't. I mean, would you do that? Would you? Because I think he's a free agent right now, or is he still with the Clippers?
He's with the Clippers right now. I know he's injured, but I don't know what his contract is like. The only thing that I'm saying is like, I mean, you look at Garza right now too. Like, if I mean, I don't know. Ant already knows what he's doing. to
Yep.
a certain extent, besides eating McDonald's before games. But like, I don't know. Like, Cat's been in the league a while. Rudy's been in the league a while. I mean, D'Lo's been in the league a while, but I feel like he's the only one that we would trade. And getting, if they can offer at least one pick with that trade, I feel like it could be beneficial in a sense.
With
But
which trade? A John Wall trade?
yeah, that's the only way that I could see it kind of fitting. But
So are you suggesting like a John Wall for D'Lo?
basically, yeah, and like a pick, I guess, because I mean, D'Lo, he's reliable in a sense, but I don't know,
He's
it's kind of
streaky.
iffy. Yeah, he's
Um
not.
so so John Wall right now his contract is 6.6 million. He's on a 2-year deal worth 13 million. So you if you're the Clippers, you definitely have to offload another player. I don't have the Clippers salary cap here. They might not need to offload, but you got Paul George, you got Kawhi Leonard, you got Zubats. Like you probably have to offload another player. Um, I think that would be interesting. My only real issue with that is I don't think John Wall's a starter per se. So would you move Jordan McLaughlin when he comes back to the starter's role?
I would. That's a really good question because Ant's still out for a little while, so isn't he?
Yeah, he's listed as questionable tonight on Saturday the 28th. He's got a
Okay, so
sprained
I
right
mean,
wrist.
because if he comes back, then that's Rudy and Cat. So I mean, those big
Yeah.
man spots are taken. Then you move Kyle Anderson or Ant to the three, and then
It would probably be Kyle Anderson to the bench. Because you have to, in my opinion, you have to start Jaden McDaniels. Like he's been way too good on defense. His offense is starting to pick up a little bit more. His corner 3-point percentage is really good.
mhm.
He's kind of starting to turn a corner there. But our team's gelling really well right now, which is nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, who would be like? Do you think we could trade D'Lo for Ananobi? Or you think that's too high?
I think
It's not
that's
a
too
viable.
high. I don't think the Raptors would be up for that. I don't know if he would be a good fit either.
Hmm.
Yeah, I want to see. I don't actually know how tall he is. So he's 6'7". Yeah, that would you'd still have to do a little bit of finagling.
Mm-hmm.
I think right now the best you're probably going to get for D'Lo would be probably like a Kyle Lowry, and I think that would be one of the dumbest trades the Timberwolves could make. Kyle Lowry has this year not shown any um not motivation but no like drive. Like this isn't the Toronto Raptors Kyle Lowry. This isn't the Houston Rockets Kyle Lowry. This is Kyle Lowry who's aging now. Um, who's really, I feel like in Miami, not a placeholder, but kind of a glorified placeholder. Um,
So you're
the
gonna say
deal,
that it's gonna happen? Is what you're
I
saying?
I don't know.
Because Minnesota is stupid.
I mean, Minnesota is really good at making bad calls. Very
Yeah,
good.
so it's gonna happen.
Personally, I don't know. It depends on what we get back for him because D'Lo still is valuable.
Yeah.
Especially to the right team. Like he's a guy that can get hot. Like he's easily one of the most clutch players that we have in our team. I mean, he can take over fourth quarters as well as anybody else. Um, but he's on an expiring deal. I heard somewhere that the Timberwolves and D'Lo are not on the same page as far as extension. So you either have to say, all right, well, let's just finish the season out. We'll take him as a loss and not get anything for him, or try and flip him for something. But again, his contract, was he making like 30 million?
Something ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. So you can't just swap him for picks. You have to throw in a player or two.
Depending on how the rest of the season goes, maybe he can turn around or something. I don't know. Have
Yeah.
time to work during the All-Star break.
Yep. The other interesting piece to me for the trade deadline before we wrap up here, do the Lakers make a move? I think what you guys were saying in the group chat with them trading with Toronto and Fred VanVleet, I think you guys are fucking insane for that. But I will let you defend that position if you still believe.
I still think the Rui trade is kind of odd. I feel like it didn't really benefit any team. But so there's two things that I want to say for the Lakers is trade Anthony Davis. I know that he is an asset, but the amount of times he literally just rolled his ankle this week. He came back, and are you just gonna? He's literally made of glass. He's literally out there like a bottle of Hennessy or something like that, just ready to be broke. Sounds kind of sus. So I'm gonna say pause on that one. But he's a good player. But how many games has he played this year? Like you're running the risk of a big man when you need a big man who's always going to get hurt. So you might as well trade him off, get somebody like they could. I was going to say Julius Randle, but probably not very good. Kristaps. There's been talks about Kristaps maybe not staying in Washington.
I've kind of heard rumblings.
So if they make that trade, I feel like it'd be beneficial for the Lakers. I mean, I don't know how much for Washington, but I mean, that could always be something. I don't know.
I think right now, if you're the Lakers, you don't really have many options. I don't think they should have mortgaged their future as much as they did for LeBron and those guys. You got a title in 2020. That's awesome. You could have repeated in 2021 had LeBron and AD both not got injured, but AD's unreliable. That supporting cast is atrocious, to say the least. Mm-hmm. It's horrible. So I don't know, if I'm the Lakers, in my opinion, we made our trade. We're good right there, in my opinion. If I'm Rob Pelinka or whatever his last name is.
I just Anthony Davis needs to get out of there. He just gets hurt way too damn much.
AD is a weird case, much like Kawhi, where when they're on the court, they're top 5, top 10.
Yeah,
that's the problem. They're not on the court.
He literally he was paired up. What was the record that he broke? It was like a record that hasn't been broken since like the 1980s or something like that. It was like a 50-point game. They're like the longest stretch of having like a 30-10 something.
Like 30 and 10. Oh, yeah, like, Anthony Davis. Yeah. Yeah, he was insane when he's on the court.
Yeah, but now it's like it sucks. But that's all I have to say for the Lakers, because I feel like they're a lost cause right now. But
well, I think we should probably end it right there for now. Any last thoughts?
Nope. Cool. Just excited to see how this plays out.
Let's go. Thank you, everybody, all 4 of you, for tuning in and watching this. Check out our TikTok. Check out our other social media. We're looking at building a little bit of a platform. Like, subscribe. Let us know what we're doing good, what we're doing bad. Let us know your opinions. Until next week.
Deuces. Okay.